Hello, fellow YouTubers. So what happened? Yesterday I went to move some concrete from a foundation with this backhoe. And lo and behold, as I was moving it, we had a little problem. I could no longer steer. So I'll show you what's going on. So here's what happened. This Massey Ferguson 40 backhoe, which is fairly decent backhoe, but built in the 1970s. She's an oldie but a goodie. But it has power steering. And here's what happened. That broke off of that, or came out, I should say. I did take this apart so I could look up some parts on it and see if I could find something that would fit, because you know, this being a 1970s unit, she's a little old and a little hard to find parts for. But what they have here is this short stem that is threaded on here, and then that threads into, I'm sure you can see it there, this shaft coming out of the power steering cylinder. And so basically, over time, those threads have gone down and wore down to nothing. So what we're going to do is fix this baby, and we'll show you how we're going to do that in just a minute. I decided to show you what's truly wrong with this, but there is the power steering cylinder and the shaft coming out of it, and this is supposed to thread into here, but as you can see, I can put it all the way in and pull it right back out. So that's basically what's wrong with this. I'm sure this is a forged Tir-Rod end here, but we'll show you how we're going to fix this baby. So here we are at the welding table. I have the Tir-Rod end here, and I also have a bolt that is the correct size that screws into that power steering cylinder. So as you can see, basically just wore the threads right off. Now the bore of that power steering cylinder is 3/4 of an inch deep. So I want to take advantage of all 3/4 of an inch that I can get in there. This is probably about 9/16 of an inch long. That was all that was threaded in there. So we'll get a little more engagement on that. Basically what I'm going to do is cut this off, this old stud right here off, and I'm going to cut this back to a 3/4, and I'm going to weld it on in place of this one. Some of you might ask, well, why not just go out and buy a new one? Well, I think they sell a Tir-Rod end for this. I don't know 100% sure if it fits or how it fits. The part number matches, but I see it's a little bit different as far as they have a ring around here with a cover on it for this, so that way the dirt and the grime don't get in here. This obviously did not come with one originally, or if it did, it cracked off, and I don't know how far up it went. We may just cut a piece of felt on there, or we may 3D print a flexible cover for that. So yet to be determined. First things first, I want to get this cut off, this welded on, and then we'll see how it fits on the power steering cylinder, and then we'll maybe look at doing something with that. I'll maybe cut this direction. Hopefully you can see where I'm at over there. Don't mind the messy shop. This shop is always messy because I'm always busy doing something. Never really have a lot of time to clean. So grab my safety equipment. I'm going to throw the sparks up against the wall so that way I'm not throwing them at the camera. We'll go from there. The compressor's probably going to start up. It's probably going to be a little bit loud, so just a precaution. What am I using, you might ask? Well, I'm just using a die grinder. Probably a Harbor Freight model with a 3 or 4 inch disc on the end, and basically we got her cut off. So the next thing I'm going to do is grind that a little bit so it's nice and flat, so we can get the bolt welded on after we get it cut off. So. I think I'm just going to use the big grinder to grind this off. It's going pretty slow with that little 4-inch grinder there. So. There it is. The big monster grinder over there really does wonders. So I think you can see it, but it's a little bit warm too. That's a grinder I picked up at an old auction, fixed it up a little bit, and been using it ever since. Probably not OSHA approved, but hey, that's what we got. So maybe I'll give you a close-up of that grinder there. I couldn't really see in the camera if I was showing you or not. But wheel over here, another wheel over here. That one's a little finer than this one here. This one's out around big time. Probably used to have some oil cups or something here where I got the grease zerks now. It is cracked here. I think the piece is probably laying in here someplace. I never ever welded it back on. The 3 bolts that are holding that cap on I figured were enough, but I rebushed this baby with some bronze bushings and put some grease grooves in it. It's got a big old General Electric motor on it. I don't know what size it is, but she's a big one, bolted to the floor, so she can't get away. But basically, here's what we have over here is, so far, is the bolt and the round off Tir-Rod end. And so the next thing we'll do is cut this. I may just do that offline because I'm probably going to do it with a hacksaw, and we'll be back. So we are back at the welding table, and I've got it ground, I've got the other bolt cut, and I did as well put a bevel on the end of that, the non-insertion end. So here's the difference between what was on there basically and the length of the new one. As you can see, it's substantially more. I'd say a good 1/8 of an inch, if not 3/16 of an inch longer, so we can get full engagement into that cylinder. So what we're going to do is just weld that onto there, and like I say, I'll probably put a grease zerk in here. I don't know if I'm going to put it in the top there or put it in there. I got to look and see on the backhoe if it would work better on the side, you know, if I put it over here versus over here, because I think this goes up against the tire, so I couldn't get a grease gun on it. So I might have to put it on that side if I'm going to put it on the side. Haven't decided though. Don't know what's in here. Doubtful there's any plastic back in the 1970s, but you never know. This ball joint is tight yet, so it's not wore much. But we're going to tack that on and get her welded on. Welder is on. I'll put this baby in here like this. I'm assuming camera can see me, but probably move you over a little bit here and check to see where we're at. So we'll get her tacked on and we'll go from there. If I say ouch while I'm doing this, it's because I got holes in my gloves. So don't be surprised. I'm just going to set it on there. We're going to eyeball it straight. It doesn't have to be perfect probably, but it's going to have to be close. So I got it tacked. I like to take the stuff out, take a good look at it, see how straight it is, see if I need to beat it around or cut it off again. I'm thinking I might need to beat it around a little bit, and I do have a hammer over here. I don't know if it'll move much now that I got it tacked, but it appears to be moving a little bit. it that way, straight it that way. I think I want to go a little bit more with it. We might end up knocking it off and re-tacking it on, but now she's looking a lot better. At least in that direction. That direction looks good. That direction not so much. I'm going to hit it over a little bit there. I'm going to see it again. That looks pretty good. Like I say, doesn't have to be perfect. At least for a tie rod in. That's kind of why they got a ball joint on it. So, tack her again. That. I'm going to spray this down with some spray if I have some. I know I used to. Oh, I am not seeing my spray. You may have used it all up. So, what I wanted to do was just protect the threads from getting sparks and stuff on them, but I'm not finding my spray. Alright, well, we'll continue on. I hear some grease sizzling. Hopefully I don't booger up my tip here. Here we go again. And that is it. That is now welded. Hopefully it's not too hot for me to hold, but she is welded on there now, all the way around. I didn't get too much goober in the threads, but she's fairly straight. She did pull a little bit that direction, but I think we'll be okay. So next is, we're going to let that baby cool down, and I'm going to put a grease zerk in that thing. Alright, so we're going to put that grease zerk in. I just took the grinder, ground a little flat spot on there so I could seat the grease zerk up against it. We're going to drill this pilot hole. We're going to drill all the way down into the ball. So I think we're there. You can see some of the rust coming out of it. It's well full of rust, apparently, because lack of lubrication, because there is no grease zerk on these coming out of the factory, apparently, when they're new. So here is the tap. This is a 1/4-28 hand tap. We're going to get this started, and then we'll turn it back a little bit. Keep going till we feel quite a bit of resistance. We should be able to get about 4 threads in it, I think. We'll just keep tapping her down till she feels awful tight, because we definitely don't want to twist the tap off in this hole, because then we will have fun. Alright, it bottomed out against the ball. We'll take that completely out. As well, we shall blow it out with the air hose. Get any metal out of there. So as you can see, we've got a hole in there. It's tapped. It's got about probably, well, I'd say at least 4 threads. We'll throw the zerk in it, which is over here. Start it by hand, and then we will goes right in. We'll tighten it up with the wrench. Get the crud off my wrench. tighten up that she ain't going to come out, and there you have it. We've got a grease Zerk in this baby now, so we can grease it. So that should work pretty good. I still should probably put a piece of felt or something around that that ball, so I think we'll do that next. All right, so I cut me a felt washer that goes onto here, like that, to act as a seal. And what we'll do is soak this good with some oil, so that way it repels water and doesn't get any water down in there. The other thing I'm going to do is clean all that old grease out of there. We'll try to anyway, with a little bit of brake cleaner. Get as much of that old grease kind of worked up and kind of worked out of there as we possibly can. I don't know how much we'll get out of there, but we'll give it a try. So that way we got some good grease in there. We don't have a bunch of hard particles of old grease in there. But not sure how good this will work, but we're going to find out. It's starting to loosen up a little bit. I'm turning it around as I try to wiggle it. And I'll see what we can get out of this thing. Might not get much at all, but I think she's turning a lot easier. So, next step's going to be soak that felt in oil, put it on here, and we'll get this baby put back on the backhoe. Alright, we're back over at the backhoe. So one of the things we need to do is put the anti-seize on this little gem. And that stub we welded on. Put that on there. I'm going to leave the baby put in there. We'll tighten this all up after we get everything together. I need to crack those lines to get some of the oil out so I can retract that cylinder a little bit so we can get it lined up with the end of the wheel over here, because right now I can't get it in there. So I'm going to crack one of these lines, and hopefully it's the right line that we crack to get some oil out of there. Might have to get in here differently. This is just a little hard to... There we go. That one's cracked a little bit, but I don't know if it's enough. Probably not enough. We'll find out though. There we go. I think she's working. There we go. I'm going to hook this baby back up. It's whoops. Oil looks a little milky, almost like it have a little bit of moisture in it. I'm going to leave that a little bit loose in case I need to move it again, but I'm going to go get the oil can. I'm going to soak that up with some oil. Good soap there. And, the nut that we're going to need to get that up there. I'm going to put a little anti-seize on that as well. Little dab will maybe do you. We'll put the nut on here. Started. trusty old Harbor Freight impact. Tighten her on. That's pretty much it. So now I'm going to tighten up that line again. We'll get a grease Zerk and kind of get this tightened all the way on here. I'm going to tighten this up so I don't forget about it though. You know that's going to happen later on. Now, get this baby tightened on here, and there's a couple flats on here to tighten this up with. So we'll just get her as tight as we can get her. I think that's pretty good right there. Go grab a grease gun, throw some grease in that, and that should seal that up nicely after we get a little bit of grease in there with that felt washer. The felt washer could be a little bit thicker maybe, but what we had today, so I'll show you a picture of that. But yeah, right there's that felt washer in there, and right there's the end on there. She's tightened on, and so I'm going to grab the grease gun, be right back, and we'll get her greased up. Alright, I'm back with the grease gun. Get some grease in that greaser. And it's starting to come out, so I think we're good on that. So, that in a nutshell, how to fix a Tir-Rod from Backhoe, at least a Master Ferguson 40, on a low budget. Till next time, take care and God bless.